Welcome to Undecided, a podcast series targeted at undecided majors at UNL. I'm Ryan Schurz, joined with my colleague Brody Jancy, and this is the first episode of our podcast series. Brody, what are you thinking?
I think this podcast is aimed at anyone that may not know where they're going in life right now or don't know what major might fit their personality or skills in the scholarly realm. And we're here to help that by interviewing people that are actually in the trenches of collegiate activities and things of that nature.
Right, yeah. For today's episode, we interviewed the assistant director of the Explore Center, which is in the Love Library South, Joey Lynch. Had a good conversation with him, talked a lot about just undecided majors in general and kind of some resources on campus that some students could find help from.
Yeah, he had a lot of good information on where you can go to get help and how advice can kind of, shape how you choose your major, not just based on the major, but based on career paths after you graduate. And he has lots of good information in the interview, and I'm really looking forward to sharing this with everybody.
Right, yeah. So stay tuned for a future podcast. We will have multiple guests from all different types of majors, some areas of work as well that can be used as resources for yourself and for anyone that is listening that may be undecided or just don't really know where to go in life. So stay tuned for more for the Undecided podcast, but now we're going to kick it over to Joey Lynch and the interview with him. All right, we're here with Joey Lynch. He's the assistant director at the Explore Center located in Love Library South. Joey, how are we doing today?
Pretty good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. So I guess you're a first guest here on our podcast, so obviously we're targeted at more undecided students, but first we'll kind of let you talk about the Explore Center, what you do for them, and what the benefits of having a program like that here at UNL.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, to start off, like you said, we're in Love Library South, 127. We're located in the library with first-year experience in transition programs. They do a lot of the academic support for all students on campus. But what the Explore Center does, we're made up of 7 advisors, 2 assistant directors, and a director. And we provide all of the advising services for undeclared students, pre-health students who have yet to declare a major, pre-engineering and pre-law students who have yet to declare a major, as well as supplemental advising for pre-health and pre-law students who, are trying to get into medical school or law school,
right,
with applications and things like that. Essentially, our main focus is to help students kind of develop and achieve their academic, their career, and their personal goals. And we do that mostly through one-on-one advising.
Right on. Speaking of just kind of advising as a thing in general, how many undecided people, because I know you kind of deal with more of the undecided more than probably other people do at the Explore Center. So how many undecided students would you say you see probably on a semester basis?
Oh, wow. Breaking it down to undecided, I mean, we're probably up to like around 1,500 if I had to go off the top of my head. So we see it's our largest population, so we're definitely busy, and we really encourage them to come in a lot. So if I had to take a stab at it,
right,
it's that number.
Yeah, right, for sure. You said you mentioned when we met before this that you were a poli-sci major.
Yeah.
And so now you're kind of at a point where you're advising for some students who really may not even know where they're going, or like you said, you have pre-law, pre-health. So talk a little bit about if some of those people are maybe decided, but they still need kind of that push as a freshman, like where would you send those guys to find more direction to any type of major if they are undecided?
Yeah, so students that are in a major or students that are not in a major?
Probably both, honestly, yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think there are a lot of resources to take advantage of on campus specifically, although the Explore Center obviously would be happy to meet with people to kind of talk over major options and where those majors could lead students, talking over, what their skills are. If you're not great at math, sometimes engineering's not the best fit.
Right, yeah.
So the Explore Center is a great sounding block for that. Career Services in 225 Nebraska Union, they do a great job of helping people that are just blank slates helping them just come up with ideas or possibilities, or designing basically what their exploration process is going to look like.
Right.
I'll do a quick plug for career services real quick.
Yeah, for sure. Go for it.
A lot of students, they wait until they're like seniors like you all, and then they're kind of like, okay, need a job, career, that's
Right,
the time to
right.
go. But honestly, the earlier you get in there, the more they can help you with finding a major, sure, but also finding internships or doing mock interviews, building your resume, helping you find part-time jobs. It'd be great to have a culture where students are going to career services a lot earlier.
Right, yeah. Do you just want to say one more time where students can find that on campus?
Yeah, they're in 225 Nebraska Union.
Okay. So upstairs, and you said that they can even just kind of help you look at your resume and also just kind of mock interviews, which is a really good tool for students in general, even if they may not be undecided. Kind of going away from college students now, but you probably see a lot of high school students that, are kind of confused at what they want to go to school. They may have a school picked out, but what advice would you give some of those high school seniors that may be undecided, that already have a school in choice? Like if they come to UNL, what could you guys do for them?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the first thing that I would want to tell like prospective high school students would be, you're not alone. Most students come in undecided, and that's okay. And we actually look at that as a kind of a thing of courage, really, because it takes a lot of courage to say, like, I don't really know what I want to do,
For sure.
when it feels like everybody else does know what they want to do.
That's how it always feels.
Right,
like,
yeah.
right?
So I really admire our undecided students who are able to do that. I also think it's kind of, I think it's too high of an expectation that when you're 18 that you would know all the careers that are
Yeah,
out there.
that's a really good point.
We know lawyer, doctor,
Yeah.
teacher, like the things that we were exposed to,
Right.
maybe in media or maybe in life.
Right.
But I mean, I never had an academic advisor when I started out college
Yeah.
until I got here. So
Yeah, and 18-year-old kids, like you said, how do you expect them to even know the careers, for one, and two, know which one they'd be good at, like which one they actually have the personality or skills to work for? So, like, I don't know, I think services like career services and like the Explore Center, I think is huge for students to know that they're out there. Just like for us, we weren't really sure what the Explore Center was like 2 weeks ago, and then we met with you and talked with you, and it's just so awesome that that's getting more popularity as it grows as a entity.
yeah. And I think also the other way beyond the Explore Center and career services to kind of discover what you might want to do as a career or as a major is get out there and do things. Job shadowing like is the best way that you can find out if you like this career, right? Seeing the daily grind of it, the opportunities that you guys are doing with your capstone project
Right,
here,
yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
getting a chance to edit your podcast,
Exactly.
all of that gets you really locked into what you like and you don't like about certain careers. So being, not waiting for a major to kind of wash over you and be like, oh, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Instead, kind of going out and doing things.
For sure.
That light bulb moment.
Exactly.
that happens in the movies,
Yep, exactly.
I know that even before coming to school, I heard that a lot of people, even like my high school guidance counselor said that a lot of people will end up changing majors when they go to school. So even if you come into college undecided, what's kind of some of the problems that you see some of those students run into when they may not have a major in mind, but they're just really confused?
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing when I think of what my bigger concerns for undecided students might be is the feeling that I touched on earlier, that it feels like everybody else knows exactly what they're doing, and your roommate knows they want to be a teacher, and they've always known they want to be a teacher, and then that makes you think like that you're not the norm,
Right.
and that you have some sort of deficit, when in reality you're being very thoughtful and deliberate, hopefully, in like the classes and the actions that you're taking to help you find what you want to do. So I think the feelings of undecidedness can weigh on students on top of everything else that like your first year of college brings, like emotionally and just the new experiences. So I think that is one thing that I would hope wouldn't occur, but I know often does. The other thing is that sometimes you might end up, when you're not able to articulate what you're interested in, it means that you're maybe not able to choose classes that you're interested in. And you guys are probably know, like, if you don't have classes that you're liking or just not connecting with the curriculum, it makes your time here not as much fun.
Right.
So,
Yeah, for
sure.
So reflecting before you go and take classes is
Right.
helpful.
For sure.
I think a big thing is to be open-minded about taking classes, because there's certain classes that, you may not, you think you might not like, but then once you get in it and you actually see what the substance is, you're like, wow, this is actually pretty fun. And then you start looking forward to class, and then that just makes the experience so much better, I feel. So I think if you are undecided and you're going to take classes as a freshman or sophomore, I think maybe branch out a little bit and just take something that maybe you're uncomfortable with, because sometimes when you kind of break out of your comfort zone, you kind of find that joy that you didn't know you even had. So
Yeah.
I think that's a big proponent when you're undecided.
Yeah. Joey, I'm not sure if you know too much about some of the learning communities that UNL offers. I know that's how Brody and I met up. And I mean, even talking to Brody in general, just that we kind of had somewhat of an idea of what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
But then like the learning community kind of shaped that and brought us together with a bunch of other people that are kind of in the same interest area. Yeah. So I don't know if you want to touch on something like that, where you can like kind of build relationships through people that you may have like a similar interest in.
Yeah, I think the learning communities are a great opportunity to especially if you kind of have an idea of like what you're interested in.
Right.
You get like-minded people that live near or with each other, and then you're taking the same courses, which
Yeah.
is kind of a special opportunity in college, and you've got a built-in support structure.
Right.
We actually have a learning community for undecided students called University Exploration.
Okay.
So last week they actually just went to Gallup in Omaha and
Wow.
toured the area, and we do advising nights, and they take a class that does a lot of like career assessments
Okay.
and strengths. Are you guys familiar with like Strengths Quest?
Yeah.
And they did a lot of Strengths Quest things.
Okay.
And so yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah. So like, I didn't know that they had one for undecided kids. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty popular one, and since I've been here, they've been doing it. So
That's
they
great.
take a couple gen ed classes and a selective class or
Right.
ACE classes, not electives, and then they take a career development one.
For sure. I know there may be kind of just kind of a downside of people think that, oh, I don't have a major when I'm a freshman in college, that it's kind of like a panic mode for them, but there probably are some advantages. So do you think you can find some advantages for some of those students who may be undecided that come to UNL here?
Yeah, I definitely think that I don't spend a lot of time worrying about this, but I think the students that are more concerning are the ones that have their head down and aren't really thinking about, or maybe they're avoiding thinking about like if the major that they want is fit for them, or if it's really what they want to do. I think a lot of times our identities get kind of taken over by our majors, right? Like I'm a broadcasting major. That's UNL student broadcast. I think they say it on the Jumbotron at Husker Games,
they
right?
do.
So I think those are the ones that I hope are thinking twice about their majors, but also when and I think a lot of them are and I totally lost track of where we're going with your question. So is it pitfalls for?
No, just kind of like some advantages that UNL
advantages,
offers
okay.
for undecided people.
Yeah, I really do think that coming in undecided allows you time to kind of grow into your adulthood,
Right.
and think about really reflect on who you are. I think that your first semester in college is a transformative experience for
Exactly.
a lot of students,
Yeah.
and I mean, you probably feel like you're way different than when you first started here
Yeah,
at UNL.
for sure. 100%, yeah.
Completely different.
So I think your skills, abilities, and interests all kind of may change from in high school, and so it allows you to, explore and embrace kind of the ambiguousness of being an undecided student and not knowing where you're going to go, but also allows you to be super adaptable into keeping a lot of options open. If you're thinking maybe broadcasting, but maybe history, you can take a class in both, and it's not going to set you back.
Right.
And I think there are really some advantages for some students coming in undecided.
Yeah. I think that was a just really good point, just because, I mean, you said earlier that some of these, like, I guess obviously everyone comes into college and you're 18 years old and you're just kind of expected to make decisions just immediately into like your start of your adult life. So, yeah.
Well, and I think, some majors are very much aligned with career, more so than others, right? Like, you have to, if you want to be a nurse, you need to major in nursing. So for a lot of students, it feels like I'm choosing forever, right? Like
Right.
once I do this, and in reality, like a lot more majors are more versatile than students might think.
Right. Yeah. Brody, got anything else?
I don't think so. I think just what would be the best way? You might have already said it, but just to retouch on it, what would be the best way for undecided majors right now that might not be in contact with the Explore Center? How can they get in contact with you, or what's the best way to go about that? Is it MyRed or Canvas?
Yeah. So you can see all of our advisor schedules on My Plan, which you can access through the settings button in Canvas,
Okay.
or through my.unl.edu. You can also call us at 402-472-3605 and schedule an appointment, or you can just stop by the library, 127 Love South. We do walk-ins every day from like 9:30 to 4 during the school year. So even if you're thinking about changing your major and you just want somebody to like hear you out and see if you're on the right track, or if you're asking yourself the right questions, would be glad to kind of sit down with you and map out your options.
For sure. Perfect. All right. That's Joey Lynch. He's the assistant director at the Explore Center. You can find him and all his staff at 127 Love Library South. Thanks, Joey.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, we'd like to thank Joey Lynch for coming on to the Undecided podcast. He was our very first guest. I think he offered some great resources and some great insights for some undecided students here at UNL. In the future, Brody and I are going to have some more guests onto the podcast, trying to find some right target areas for some students here that may not have an idea of what they want to major in. Signing off for the both of us, I'm Ryan Schurz for Brody Jancy. Thanks for listening.